Good morning. Happy Denim Day.
Morning.
My name is Maya Jupiter.
And I'm Aloe Black.
And we are your spokescouple for Denim Day since 2014.
More? So we're here to recognize the longest running sexual violence prevention and education campaign, Denim Day. Patty Giggins started the campaign 20 years ago and continued.
The Denim Day campaign has reached millions worldwide with roots in the City of Angels. Denim Day recalls an Italian Supreme Court case that sparked international outrage when a judge overturned a lower court's conviction of a rapist because the victim wore jeans. The judges ruled that because the victim was wearing tight jeans, she must have helped her attacker remove them, thus implying consent.
Now, Denim Day calls on all individuals, institutions, and elected officials to challenge destructive attitudes and myths that surround sexual violence. And today, we have some pretty amazing people here to do just that. Kicking us off for the 20th Annual Denim Day is the mayor of this beautiful city. It's my pleasure to introduce to you the mayor of Los Angeles, Mayor Eric Garcetti.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you. Good morning. Buenos dias, Los Angeles. ¿Cómo están? How's everybody doing? Well, I want to thank everybody who comes out. This is my 18th Denim Day as an elected official, and certainly my 20th, I think, as a person. There's a distinction between people and elected officials there. But I want to thank my fellow elected officials, Nuri Martinez, who is not only President Pro Tem of the City Council, but for a while was the only woman on this City Council, and who has been a tireless advocate in the school board, now in the City Council for sexual equality and to fight against sexual violence. Give her a round of applause and thank Nuri Martinez. Supervisor Mark Ridley Thomas, who has been one of the leading male voices I know, who's always said this isn't just a fight for women or about women, that men need to step up and that we need to train a generation of men who can speak up about their own victimization, but also who can make sure that they are not the perpetrators of sexual violence. I want to thank him and his even cooler spouse, Avis Ridley Thomas, who's here with us today as well. She's hiding up there, but you can tell because they're twinsies today. And I want to thank also our LAPD Chief Michael Moore, who long before he became the chief of police has been a leader in the fight against sexual violence and now is arguably, if not the one of the most progressive voices in law enforcement in our country and in our world, and who has always put those resources into understanding that the cycle of violence, when it ties in with sexual violence, we see it in shootings, we see it in murders, we see it in so many things. And without that sort of progressive thinking of a police department, we couldn't have seen a 12% reduction in rapes last year, nearly 40% reduction this year to date. Thank you to you and the men and women of this department for all that you do as well. And of course, our main hero, Patty Giggins, who has really been the voice of taking outrage and making it into a movement. I'll never forget the first year. It was 2001. I was 30 years old, so you can do your calculations, and I was a new city council member. And I wore jeans for Denim Day. And we got a lot of calls to my office saying, what is my council member doing wearing jeans on the city council floor? Where's the dignity, the respect? He's supposed to be in a suit. And each one of those outraged calls led to a conversation, which is the point. When somebody comes up to you today and say, why are you wearing jeans? You need to engage in a conversation, because this is a day not of outrage, not a day of an anniversary. This is a day of action that should lead to a year of action for us to eliminate sexual violence wherever it lives, in our workplace, in our homes, in our neighborhoods, in our community. We have seen so much in the last few years. Time's Up, Me Too. Give people a voice that for too long felt silenced, who literally carried stories around thinking maybe they were the only ones. But one led to 2, led to 5, led to 10, led to hundreds, and now millions of people who are telling their stories. And we need to give the space and the place to turn victimization into survivors and into thrivers, to people who will come back and be a part of our society, our families, and our communities. And each one of us have a role to play. And I want to acknowledge the survivors who are here today. These are the most courageous people I know each year who step forward and tell their story in front of cameras. so that somebody out there says, if she or he had the courage to do that, I can get help today. You are literally lifesavers. And when we see the work that we can do, we want those folks out there that are suffering today to know that there is help today. We know that the day or the incident of sexual assault is the most horrifying day of people's lives. But it is the re-victimization that happens when people live with that trauma in silence and without help. The long, devastating impacts. If you care about homelessness, you need to care about sexual violence, because 91% of the women who are on Skid Row and around here are the survivors of sexual and or domestic violence, either now or earlier in their lives. So in order to stop sexual violence, we need to end homelessness. In order to end homelessness, we need to stop sexual violence. They go together. If you care about poverty, you have to care about sexual violence, because sexual violence keeps people in poverty. We see it in the workplace, where we know that sexual violence is about power and economic power and keeping people down. We in this City Hall finally have a majority of our commissioners that serve on our boards and commissions are women for the first time in city history, because we have to place women in those positions of power in order to change what we have. We have to see wage gaps eliminated, which I'm proud to have done in my office, where women earn equal wages to men across the 400 employees directly in the mayor's office. And our message is that you are not alone. And this is not just about one day. This is about a movement. This is not a women's issue. It is a human issue for all of us. We doubled the number of domestic abuse response teams, too. And I want to thank Peace Over Violence, because they are among those teams that roll out civilians with police officers, allowing those officers after incidents to go back to helping other people, but staying with folks to get those court orders that they need, to get the shelter bed that they need, to make sure that they have everything that they need. And with Peace Over Violence, we and you have created so many victories. There's not a single rape kit that is not tested now in Los Angeles, and a policy that they will be tested right away. No backlog at all anymore. We have SART teams, the sexual abuse response teams, that also go out and make sure that people can get the evidence they need that lead to convictions, so that we don't have to look back and just say we're helping a survivor, but we are bringing them justice as well. And together we have quadrupled the number of people that we have been serving since I've become mayor. And sexual assault response teams helped 1,200 victims of sexual abuse last year alone in LA. Finally, working with the county, I want to thank the county and Peace Over Violence, because our family justice centers, one of which just opened in the county USC last April, provide people with the counseling, the legal help, the prosecutors, the police, all in one place. When you've survived sexual violence, the last thing you need to go is to go to 7 or 8 places just to deal with now resolving and bringing justice to your case. And so we know that whether it's those rape kits being tested every 90 days, whether it's the Family Justice Center or the SART teams, we are taking action. And I challenge my fellow mayors and city council members and supervisors around the country, take local action too. Put on your jeans and then take action to change things as well. So I want to thank everybody who has been here. One last thing for city employees I want to say is we've changed reporting mechanisms here in LA. If you are the victim of sexual harassment, of workplace violence, or of sexual assault, you need to report it. Here we did a survey and showed that half of the employees who said they have been subjected to harassment don't report the incident to anyone. This is part of the same spectrum of actions. That's not right. There should be no stigma coming forward, and even if you're not the victim, but you are the witness of it, you need to report something, to step forward. So all city departments, from our library to our Department of Aging, now have strategies looking at our victims, and My Voice LA, you can download it as an app, is available for city employees to be able to report what is happening to them in the workplace, and that's how we will bring justice to every corner, to every part and every neighborhood of this city. Thank you so much. And here she is, our hero, the one, the only, Patty Giggins.
Did you say my name in Spanish again?
Sí. O en español, Patty Giggins.
I like that. I like that. I like the sound of that. Great to see everyone here this morning. You know, for 20 years, you've heard you know, because that's why you're here, POV has sponsored, curated, and encouraged Denim Day activities around the world. The clarion call of the campaign is to support survivors of sexual violence and educate, educate, educate. And our call continues to be heeded. And it started right here in Los Angeles, the city of Los Angeles, and the county of Los Angeles. This is the birthplace of this worldwide Denim Day campaign. And you know, LA is we're a big sports team town. We have the LA Lakers, we have the LA Kings, and the Sparks. But you know what we also have? We have the Peace Over Violence Denim Day team. And they're here. Of course, they put all this on. Please raise your hands. Where's Shirley? Where's Brittany? Where's Laureen? Where's Darcy? Where's Omar? Where's Kayla? Where's Angie? And our board of directors are here. These are the folks that are often behind the scenes. Please wave your hands. Say hi to our board of directors. We couldn't do half of what we do without all the teams at Peace Over Violence. When I first thought of starting Denim Day after that now famous Italian Supreme Court case, I was inspired by this idea of fusing one of the most ordinary, mundane things one could do. Put on a pair of jeans, throw on a denim jacket, combine that with one of the most serious and yet silenced traumas and crimes, sexual violence in all its forms. Denim has become our social justice fabric, where we make our social statement with our fashion statement. Between the era of Take Back the Nights, so how many of you remember those? Yep. And the Me Too explosion, there has been 20 years of Denim Days. First starting in LA, right here in a small park in downtown, and slowly expanding across the country. There's a Denim Day in California happening right now, a rally and press conference on the steps of the Capitol, and everyone is wearing their denim and their jeans on purpose with a purpose. It is now a worldwide campaign. The purpose is to protest the destructive myths, lies, and attitudes that surround rape. The movement to end sexual violence has been strengthened by these worldwide Denim Days that pay attention to this very concealed and neglected issue. And I just want to mention that at the United Nations this week, we could all be a little bit embarrassed for our country for first protesting to not sign the UN resolution to make a strong statement against rape used as a weapon of war. And the only way it got through is that the resolution had to be diluted. They had to take any mention of sexual health out of the resolution. This happened yesterday, the day before Denim Day. So we are making progress, but we have a long way to go. So here we are 20 years later, and we can say that these past 20 years of organizing, campaigning, and outreaching on this topic has helped change the climate, but not far enough. At POV, we talk about victims becoming survivors, and as the mayor said, thrivers. We go one step further, becoming warriors. Yeah. Today, everyone who wears their jeans, wear their denim on purpose with a consciousness, you are a warrior by doing that simple act, because consciousness is what then predicates behavior. So the social issue of sexual violence is finally seen in many quarters as a significant social justice issue. You know, it's one of the last ones to join. In the early civil rights movement, it wasn't seen as part of that, but that has happened now, and that has a lot to do with our very own homegrown Mark and Avis Ridley Thomas, who combined civil rights, human rights, and the rights of survivors in the prevention of sexual assault. And they started that 30 years ago. I knew them when. When we're looking beyond equality and equity now, You know, you hear a lot of this. It's not enough to have equality. We need equity. We need to make it a much more fair playing field, because you say everyone's equal. If they don't have access, if they don't have the means, if they don't have the support, if they can't get the best education, then you're not going to reach the equality that we want. So it's really important to understand you cannot have equality or equity when you have sexual and domestic violence. Right. When you have half the population and many children and many men who suffer from this trauma, and they're fearful and they're not able to heal, there's no equality. There is no equity. So this is where we have to go deeper from now on. So in celebration of the longest running sexual violence campaign to date, I say, don your denim and wear your social justice clothing with pride and in solidarity for yourself and with all the survivors across the world, and even beyond today. Wear your Denim Day buttons and continue to study up on the impact of sexual violence on children, youth, adults of all ages, all genders, trans people from all communities and all cultures. Share what you learn with everyone you know. Be brave and challenge those lies and misconceptions. It's not what she wears. It's not what she was doing, where she was going. It's not a part of the prison sentence. It's never deserved. Challenge the dominance and exclusionary tactics of rape culture. Make no mistake about it. Even in this era of pushback, there is no excuse. I'm going to say this again. There is no excuse and never an invitation to harass, assault, abuse, or rape. Thank you all for showing up in your social justice outfits today and making your statement. And together, we will continue to make change.
Amen.
So it's my great pleasure to introduce someone who does not need any introduction in Los Angeles County or through the state of California. This is a person who has consistently supported every effort that has to do with peace and humanity being the topic of the main social policy agenda. And Mark Ridley Thomas, who is on the Board of Supervisors, has, first of all, I want to tell you, he only wears denim once a year, just so you know. So it's a special day. But his dedication has, maybe this is the governor calling from Sacramento. No. His dedication on this topic, on the topic of domestic violence and around the intersectionalities of all forms of oppression, has really been a beacon. And it's my great pleasure to introduce Supervisor Mark Ridley Thomas.
Mr. Mayor, Madam Pro Tem, ladies and gentlemen, if you are as proud as I am to be here today and celebrating the leadership of Patty Giggins and peace over violence, clap your hands as loud as you can and say there's no excuse. There's no excuse and never an invitation. I want you to know that yesterday the Board of Supervisors proclaimed April 24 as Denim Day in the county of Los Angeles. And we are proud of that. All 10 million people of this county understand that and know that we are serious. We're delighted to be here today. Reference has already been made to the leadership of Avis Ridley Thomas, who chaired the state's Sexual Assault Advisory Committee way back in the 1980s. Give her a shout out for being here with us today. And she's still on the case. And I woke up this morning, she said, "Where are you going this morning?" I said, "Beg your pardon?" And she said, she asked me if I'm going to Denim Day. I said, yes. She said, "Put on your jeans, let's go." So we're here. Thank you very much. One day of denim is not a bad thing. Why are you wearing denim, Ridley Thomas? Because I got it like that. All right. So now I want you to know that Abby Land is here. She heads the Women and Girls Initiatives for the County of Los Angeles. Sharon Shelton is the vice chair of that commission. And Lisa Garrett is here, and she's doing the most as one who heads the personnel department and runs HR for the County of Los Angeles. Emily Williams is here, who is on point from office. Give them all a big round of applause. It takes all of them to get it done. And so, Patty, we celebrate your leadership. It is fitting that during April, which is recognized nationally as Sexual Assault Awareness Month, we will break ground on yet another family Justice Center on the campus of the Martin Luther King Jr. Medical Campus on next week, because we know that this is important, and the more such centers we have to support victims, survivors, the better. And so we are proud of that work, and we are looking forward to your being there. We're looking forward to that grand opening of the facility next year. Why? Because we know the more we do, the better we will be. I'd like to give special recognition to every single survivor, every advocate, and every social service provider here who bravely and selflessly they work on a daily basis to make our community safer and more respectful for everyone. If you agree with me, give all of those persons a round of applause. Give yourselves a round of applause. All those standing behind, this is important. And so let's honor those who could not be here with us today by doubling down on our efforts to ensure that every single Angelino knows that there is no excuse and never an invitation to harass, abuse, assault, or rape. That is our mantra, that is our mandate, that's our commitment, and we will not retreat from our declaration in that regard. We're here to declare Denim Day 20 years later, still standing, still going strong, still prepared to face those who choose not to accept the fact that we shall not be moved. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Supervisor Mark Ridley Thomas. Our next speaker has led the proclamation of Denim Day in LA for the last 5 years. Councilwoman Nuri Martinez from Los Angeles City Council, District 6.
Good morning, everyone. I'm very proud to stand here for my 5th year recognizing what has become an international movement, which is Denim Day. What started as an unjust court ruling has evolved into a worldwide campaign for justice. Justice for those who are afraid to speak against their assailant. Justice for those who are questioned and reprimanded for being brave and telling their stories in a situation that has become far too common. Justice for survivors of sexual assault. This is a movement that was started by women and led by women. And I am proud that we continue this fight in Los Angeles each and every day with so many of you. So many of our allies like Supervisor Mark Ridley Thomas and our Mayor, Eric Garcetti. Peace Over Violence has developed Denim Day campaign 20 years ago, and although I am grateful for their work and their advocacy, it pains me that in 2019 we still have to remind the public that sexual assault and sexual violence is a real issue in this country. But I do think that we're making great strides in calling attention to it. What was once something that we kept quiet and we whispered about behind closed doors is now something that we are in society are becoming more comfortable speaking about and calling those responsible for it. Over the last year and a half, we have seen spotlight finally shine on powerful men, one after the other. Men who have used their position of power and authority to manipulate women and young girls, sexually harass and assault them. This is what we need to talk about. This is a conversation that we all need to have. What is the prevalence of sexual assault and sexual harassment? About the safety of women at home, at a friend's house, at a bar, and on public transportation. This is what we need to change. And we're here starting with an organization like Peace Over Violence. Thanks to their work, they have been able to partner with Metro in providing direct services to riders. Their off-limit sexual assault hotline is a way to address sexual harassment on Metro transportation system. If someone happens to harass you or you happen to witness someone being harassed riding our public transportation, Peace Over Violence Council advocates are available to offer confidential support and information 24/7. But this is not only one of the solutions. The real solution is education. Teach boys and men early on about consent. Challenge them in their lives. It's about also teaching one another to believe survivors. So today I want to invite those in the audience and those who are listening at home to remember that education begins at home. Join me in teaching this next generation that we must have greater respect for one another. Because rape culture ends with you, it ends with me, and it ends with us. And I want us to all say that together. Please join me. Rape culture ends with you, it ends with me, and it ends with us. Thank you very much, and let's continue the fight.
Nuri. Thank you so much, Nuri. Always a champion. A couple of things. I just want to give a shout out to our Denim Day spokescouple again.
Yes.
Aloe Black and Maya Jupiter. You know, I'm going to be very personal for a minute, but one of the things that's important to me, and I come from a very large Italian family, so loyalty is one of the values in our family. And I'm always touched by so many of you who keep coming back every year. And Maya and Aloe have been with us for several years now as our spokescouple. And I'm very moved and so appreciative of that. And also, we have a program. We've expanded our interventions at Peace Over Violence. We have a program called Triumph. And this is for survivors healing. And what it is, it's a menu of different ways to heal. Not everyone wants to do talk therapy. In fact, that's one of the reasons why survivors come to our centers, and after a couple of sessions, they get so triggered in talking about what happened to them, they kind of run out the door, and you may not see them for 4 or 5 or 6 months or 1 or 2 years later, you know. So what we've added is this whole menu of different body awarenesses, somatic work, EMDR, a whole collection of different kinds of healings. And art plays a really important part of healing. And our survivors at POV created a banner, and it's back here, and I hope that they would lift it up so you can see the banner that they created. Can you lift it?
Lift it up.
Can you lift it up?
Yeah, there you
Long, tall arms. Woo! There's no excuse, just like Mark said. So now it's my great pleasure, and I'm so appreciative of Nuri really talking about this important collaboration that POV has with Metro, the Metropolitan Transportation Authority. And they've, again, talk about loyalty and engagement. They've been very involved in Denim Day over the last few years. And this program is a really important program to be, the hotline is a real important program to POV. And I'm very happy to introduce the Chief of Staff for Los Angeles County Metro, Nadine Lee, where she's in charge of a lot of the collaborations across the agency to improve mobility in the region. Nadine Lee.
Thank you very much. I am so thrilled to be here, and I'm so honored to meet Patty. I'm really excited about this. So Metro is glad to partner with Peace Over Violence on Denim Day here in Los Angeles. We have encouraged our own 10,000 employees to wear denim today in support of this important cause. At Metro, we take sexual harassment extremely seriously. We have a zero-tolerance policy regarding sexual harassment within the agency, and that means that a person's employment, whether you're male or female, can be terminated at Metro for these types of behaviors and offenses. Women are equals and should be given the same respect and opportunities that men have in all areas of life. At Metro, we've started several programs to raise awareness of the challenges faced by women in our community. And by the way, I like the term consciousness instead of awareness, because consciousness implies some level of action. So I'm going to start using the term consciousness now. 2 years ago, we established the Women and Girls Governing Council to examine Metro policies, programs, and services and learn how we can increase our impact on the lives of women and girls. As part of this work, the Council has heightened focus on sexual harassment throughout the transit system. As a result, we've taken on several strategies to make transit safer for our female riders. First, riders shouldn't be embarrassed to report incidents of sexual harassment. For this reason, we're improving reporting, reviewing, and responding processes in hopes of reducing and preventing these incidents from happening. We're also working on a bystander program designed to empower bystanders to intervene when they see fellow riders being victimized. Metro is also improving our It's Off Limits campaign to help people recognize inappropriate behaviors and further emphasize that sexual harassment will not be tolerated anywhere on our transit system. We will do everything in our power to aggressively pursue perpetrators of violence against women. Working with victims and our law enforcement partners, we have successfully arrested and charged sex offenders on our system. We also provide a confidential counseling hotline for those who have experienced sexual harassment and need support. This hotline, operated by yours truly, Peace Over Violence, is available 24/7 and will be expanded soon to offer counseling support in a total of 9 languages. We're making progress in our, thank you. We're making progress in our efforts to make our entire transit system a sexual harassment-free zone. We'll continue our zero tolerance efforts and we'll welcome input from the broader community on ways that we can improve our work. Thank you very much to Peace Over Violence for inviting Metro to help advance this conversation and join the fight against sexual harassment. Thank you very much.
Go Metro.
Metro.
Go Metro. We have a new partner this year, and that just brings such joy to POV when we're able to bring in new folks, new industries to join with us on tackling these issues. The American Hotel and Lodging Association is a partner this year as our iconic Navy denim sponsor, and I'm so pleased to invite Troy Flanagan, who's the Senior Vice President for Government Affairs and Industry Relations, up to the podium. Troy?
Thank you, Patty. The American Hotel and Lodging Association is proud to recognize the 20th anniversary of Denim Day by standing along strong advocates and community leaders who have worked tirelessly to end sexual assault and violence. We're extremely grateful to partner with Peace Over Violence, Mayor Garcetti, and everyone here today to further our shared commitment to supporting victims, educating the public, and ending sexual violence. At AHLA, we believe there's no compromise for the safety and security of our guests and our employees. As an industry, we have long been committed to raising awareness and providing hotel operators new training tools and resources to educate employees on identifying and reporting sexual harassment and sexual assault. Building on those efforts, in September, the AHLA was proud to partner with major hotel brands to announce our 5-Star Promise, a pledge to provide hotel employees across the United States with employee safety devices and commit to enhanced policies, trainings, and resources that together are aimed at enhancing hotel safety, including preventing and responding to sexual harassment and assault. In honor of Sexual Assault Awareness Month, AHLA and our board members expanded this commitment by launching a month-long campaign to raise public awareness about sexual assault and reaffirm the hotel industry's commitment to providing a safe and welcoming environment for all employees and guests. Ending sexual harassment and violence is an ongoing commitment that requires each of us to do our part. As a community standing together, we can all make a positive difference. Thank you very much. Thank you, Patty.
Last year, this next speaker left us all stunned with her vulnerability, courage, and resilience. She's been the model for 2018 and 2019 official Denim Day poster. Please welcome Dana Clayton.
Hey guys, good morning.
Wait a minute. Look, is this a funny picture?
Good morning, everybody. Before I go into what I want to say, I want to just thank Monique Coleman. She's standing behind me, and her husband, Walter Jordan. He's somewhere on a business call, but I saw him for being here. Because if it was not for them and how it signifies, she's behind me. She's always standing behind me. She's always supporting me. He's always in front of me and making sure that I'm being led to the right path for my life. So I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them. So I just want to thank you guys. I love them. I never think I'm gonna cry, and then I get up here and I start crying. So my name is Dana Clayton. I'm a survivor of sexual violence. It was not my fault, and it is not my burden to carry. Last year, my life and the life of my family changed forever. For 12 years, starting at the age of 3, I was molested by someone in my family. For years, I thought that it was my fault, and if I ever told anyone about what he did, I would get in trouble. But one day, I mustered up the courage to tell him to stop. But I never spoke about my encounters to anybody else until last year. At the Peace Over Violence Denim Day rally in 2018, for the first time, I spoke out publicly against the person who abused me. For far too long, I didn't think I could make a difference. I know now that nothing could be further from the truth. Through this freedom from sharing my story, I've been able to blend my passion and career for modeling with my purpose of being of service, while at the same time bringing healing to myself and so many others. The 19th Annual Denim Day was my first Denim Day experience. Not only did I share my story, but I was also the model for the official campaign poster. My experience with the campaign has meant more to me than I can put into words. My participation in Denim Day marked the beginning of healing and wholeness within myself and for so many others. Speaking out broke the cycle of silence in my family. And through my bravery and participation in Denim Day, I can see the direct impact it has had on my healing and the healing of others. To me, Denim Day means healing. It signifies rebirth from a trauma you never thought you'd live past. Denim Day means the world to me because it has forever changed my world and the world as a whole. Thank you, Peace Over Violence. Thank you, Denim Day, for being the catalyst for my healing. And I also want to thank each and every one of you guys for being out here and for supporting me. It's so scary to get up here and talk. It's so scary. Yeah. So thank you guys.
I said I want hugs too. Thank you, Dana. Beautiful. Do you see her on our poster here? Is she amazing? Woo! Our next speaker is also a phenomenal woman. She is a Syrian-American poet and author and co-founder of A Country Called Syria, a nonpartisan Southern California community benefit organization showcasing the history, culture, and valuable contributions of Syria. She goes by the name Lady Narrator. Please welcome Donya Al-Kuli.
Good morning, everyone. As a survivor and born and bred Los Angeles girl, I'm very honored to be here, and I'm going to share a spoken word piece with you this morning. I keep looking for the woman I used to be before. Before him. Before him. Before him. I cannot find her, but I'm not sure I even want to anymore. Is it consensual if his skin can't be found under my fingernails? If the remnants of the woman I used to be are beneath his? Men tell me my resilience draws them, my ability to survive trauma, but their addiction is only to the conquest, attracted to the exoticism of a broken, strong woman. Is it consensual if my no was inaudible, entangled somewhere between twisted vocal cords and soundproof mouths? Is it consensual if my yes was merely 3 letters, coerced, strung together like a pearl? A noose he tied around my neck so delicately, so dark I couldn't see I was conflating fear with love. Rest in peace every forced laugh I ever conceived when I confused flirting with fear. Rest in peace every dress I ever bought to wear for a man instead of myself. Rest in peace to the woman I once was, whoever she once was. May she rest in peace. Thank you.
Thank you, Danya.
Thank you. We want to thank you all for showing your support by showing up today. And we want to encourage you to continue to show your support for survivors and speak the truth to power that there is no excuse, never an invitation to rape, to harass, to abuse.
People always ask us why we choose this cause, this issue, why we want to be involved in Denim Day. For me, it's the fact that my mom is a survivor, my sister is a survivor, I'm a survivor. Every one of us are either survivors or no survivors. And for me, it's because I know that we can change this culture of abuse. We can change it. It's just behavioral. It's about changing minds. And I think we really can see the end of this, or at least a drastic reduction of it in our lifetimes. And it's something that, for me, you know, raising a boy now, I know that I'm going to teach him not to abuse. I'm going to teach him how to respect women. I'm going to teach him how to treat girls on the playground. And I think there really is hope for change. That's why I'm here. That's why I stand here year after year for Denim Day.
Now, for our next speaker, she's known as an actress, and you may know her from the High School Musical. She's a global youth advocate, and most recently, Emmy-nominated host of her original series, Gimme Mo. Please welcome Monique Coleman.
Goodness, is it still morning? Yeah. Okay, good morning. It's so incredible. Last year I was actually speaking in Chicago when Dana was here, and it broke my heart that I couldn't be here because I am always behind her. And we actually live together. That's TMI, but it's relevant to what I'm about to say. As we were getting ready this morning, I was telling her just how nervous I was feeling, but it was like a different type of nervous. I'm an actress, I speak a lot, but there was something kind of boiling in my stomach. And she asked me if it was because I felt that I wasn't qualified to speak about sexual assault. And initially I said no, because last year I'd done an episode of my original series, Gimme Mo, called Them Too, which gave people the resources and tools to discuss sexual violence and take action. We toured Peace Over Violence, hung out with Patty, learned about their incredible work, and shined a light on an epidemic that affects far too many. But the truth is I was nervous because I didn't feel that I had a right to speak. Dana's actually the first person that I've known personally to be a survivor of sexual assault. But I actually think that's probably not true. She's just the first who's been brave enough to share. And witnessing her journey has been nothing short of remarkable. Holding her hand, being an ear, being a shoulder, It has been a privilege. And to see the way that she has used her pain to build a platform for other survivors to feel seen and heard is incredible. That is our responsibility, to use what we've been given to make the world better. And I know firsthand the role that Peace Over Violence and Denim Day have played in that. I realized that I was scared to speak because I care so much. I wanted to make sure that I spoke from the heart, but that I used the right language, that I treaded delicately, but still passionately, that I said something meaningful that wasn't self-serving. And then it dawned on me. This is the experience of the advocate. We are the ones who hold space. We are the ones who listen and who care. We are the ones who awkwardly stand by or behind and don't always know what to say, but we're here. And just because I don't have my own personal experience doesn't mean that I shouldn't have a voice. And whether you are here because of your own firsthand experience, the experience of someone that you know and love, or simply because you passed by, you too have a role in ending sexual violence. One of my favorite quotes is Eve Ensler, and she says, "When we give in the world what we need the most, it heals the broken parts in each of us." I'm going to repeat that. When we give in the world what we need the most, it heals the broken parts in each of us. So give your strength, not your sorrow. Give your heart and never hate. And the discomfort that we feel around this issue is necessary, because it's only in facing these uncomfortable things that we truly can heal from them. Thank you so much for having me.
Space to have take.
Come in. Do you want to start?
For the last 20 years, the Denim Day campaign has inspired and mobilized individuals, communities, and institutions by providing tools, messaging, and an accessible call to action. Wearing jeans with a purpose.
And I don't know about all of you, but I'm feeling pretty inspired, so make some noise. Regardless of how you show solidarity for survivors, you're supporting the mission to end sexual violence and to disrupt rape culture.
Denim Day is more than a day. It's a movement.
Right.
So thank you for building this movement with us.
Thank you all.
Patty, should we take a picture? Yes, get a picture. All right, let's take a picture.